There you all are. It's Feral Monday. And I want to do a look inspired by the headband that I will put on in a minute. And then I have the perfect mint colored shadow. This one's from House Labs. It's going to be a liquid shadow. And I also thought this would be a really good learning moment because these can be a little tricky, but they can also be incredible. So let's get our eye shape going here. I actually want to do things a little bit differently today too, and I'm trying to decide how dark I want to make the eye. Oh, so many options. So we're going to start with some clean canvas. I'm going to use the shade Fair on a C31, and we want our very short, dense bristles here to make sure that this is nice and even, but also very pigmented across the lid. It's Feral Monday, so we're going extra glam. I want to make sure that my eyeshadow shows up very true and very pigmented. So a tacky base like this is really going to make sure that the shadows that we're going to be using are very pigmented. Extra glam. I'm so excited for this look. So relaxing. Take it all the way up to the brow bone. So what I'm doing already, we're having fun. So sometimes when we start to shape with powder eyeshadow, it can get a little intimidating, but right now we're cream on top of cream and it's so easy, especially when it comes to shaping. So I'm gonna take this Patrick Ta, I'm using the cream side. We'll get to the powder side, but let's start with the cream side, and I'm gonna start to shape in here. And I'm gonna take it a little bit into my brow. And then we're just going to take it over this way, and that's going to be our first eyeshadow transition. But we're also able to get some shape through here. And what this is going to do, it's going to round out that eye area a little bit more. I want this to be a very rounded eye look. Now, let me talk about the eye shape here. So see how that's rounding that part out? But if we wanted to elongate anything up towards the temple, I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is I'm taking that and then I'm bringing it around that way. Keeping it very, very round. And round just usually means more doe-eyed, just bigger. Elongated obviously just means more elongated. So it's kind of simple, then it can get confusing, and then it gets easy again. Viseart Neutral Matte, we're gonna grab a tiny amount, okay? Whisper. And the reason why is because we need more control right now, and it's always easier to build. Building is so much easier than going in and then having to overblend and try to figure out where this shadow is supposed to go. If somebody had told me that years ago, I would have been so much better off. So I'm taking that and I'm creating a much deeper socket and larger lid space. I'm going to take this lid up pretty far. So I'm not going to even think about my natural eye shape right now. That's going to be completely different. So I'm picking up smaller amounts of that shadow I just showed you, and I'm just creating a deeper socket, kind of the beginning of the deeper socket, and I'm going to bring it over this way and then start to twirl it. Now, back into the bronzer. We're going to go ahead and set. We're going to use the side of the brush. That way we can just transition, set all at once. I'm still going to add some more dimension, but let's go ahead and get our bronzer set. Isn't that so pretty? You're thinking no. I will say, if you can just trust the process, and we have a lot of new friends here, that's why I'm mentioning this. If we can just trust that process and kind of see that vision through, then that's what I'm doing. I'm seeing this vision through. We become unstoppable and we don't hesitate. We just keep going, and then it all comes together at the last minute. It's one of the reasons I love makeup so much. Now we're going to add our depth. I'm going to grab this shade. I did switch to an E27, a much smaller brush. I'm going to tilt my head back and I'm going to start to kind of place this. Don't be afraid. Don't be frightened. We switched to a small brush so we have more control. I'm actually going to pick up more of it. Nice. And then with whatever's left, because once I get over this way, I don't want it to be too concentrated. I'm going to do some light pulling motions. and start to bring it over this way. Don't towards the bridge of the nose. But I want it to be a whisper once it comes over this way. And I'm using such light pressure. That's so important for me to tell you, because too much and we could start dragging eyeshadow away. And I'm just using, now I picked up more of that dark brown just on the very front of the brush. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to use, see how I've turned it to the side there? It's toward, I'm just using that angle part and it fits here so perfectly and you have so much more precision. And I'm just going to shade a little bit more and then I'll do my final blend. But right now I just wanted a little bit more of a shape. I'm gonna pick up some more of that brown. There we go. Now I'm gonna grab this shade closer to my skin tone, just a tiny tap. These are wildly pigmented. What side is that on? There we go. So now I'm just gonna start here on my brow and then I'm gonna take it over this way and then over this way just to kind of blur. I have a little bump here. It'll go away. It's just a little blummy. So if you're seeing unblended eyeshadow, it's the little bump. Now we're to the good part. I'm gonna grab my Bioderma, my micellar water. By the way, it came like this, the little, oh, I love it too. And what I'll do is I'll just refill this. So we're gonna take that, and there really isn't much wasted. But I also needed all of that base there because I wasn't sure where we were gonna put the eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna wipe this off. And I'm just gonna continue to carve. Clean that all up. And look at how faint that line is right there. There's still shadow there, but look at how much more defined that looks compared to this side. And it was important that we brought over a little bit because we still want a little bit of that shape. Ooh, this is gonna be good. I'm getting my minty color ready. Ooh, and this is important. This is what I was telling you. So something like this is not going to like a base underneath it. It's going to completely change it. It won't dry down properly. It won't go on smoothly. It could flake. So us cleaning the lid is very important. Also, the micellar water is going to completely dry down. And if you're still worried about it, you could tap a little bit of powder, but I'm not going to. It feels, oh, it's already dried. It's, especially this one. This one leaves no residue. I love this one. But we do not want any kind of primer underneath there. How much fun is that? I want to lighten it a little bit, but we'll do that with powder eyeshadow in just a second. I have it here on the back of my hand. And I recommend putting it on your hand instead of just directly going on your lid because you might put too much on and then it doesn't have a place to go. Talk about that all the time. I know I'm repetitive, but I want y'all to have fun with makeup. I don't want y'all to be scared of it. And then I'm just following where I carved, and it's very easy. I want to make sure it's a nice thin layer across our lid. It's so much fun. Take it all the way to the lash line, and then I'm going to take it to about right there. I got too excited. So this is from House Labs and it's called Matte Mint and it's really an all over pigment. I know some of them are lip safe and of course this one is eye safe. I'm not sure if this one would be lip safe. Let's check that. It would always tell you. It'll tell you on the website. Look at what a difference transitioning even the lid makes. It makes such a difference. Look at that compared to this side over here. Not fun. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that shade, grab it on the side of the brush, and I'm just going to take that and tap it in between that darker shade. We're going to add just a little bit of black because I do want to do a tight line, smoky lash line. I'm grabbing a little bit more, but I do want to transition this. Look at what a difference that already makes. Just using the side to tap. Taking my favorite eye pencil, the gel one from Melt Cosmetics, we're going to do a nice little tight line. I'm going to turn my head to the side, kind of really push it over this way. Then I'm just going to do a couple dots and we're going to smudge out this lash line. I'm actually going to smudge this one a little bit more using my E26. And then I'm going to relax and even take some of the black through here. I'm going to show you on this side. I'm going to start to build it a little bit more just at the lash line. And then continue to smudge. So now I wanted to brighten this up a little bit more. Isn't that fun? All I did was I grabbed this shade right here. A little bit of that. Grab it on an E27 and I just packed that on top. Nice and bright. Tragedy has struck. I gotta go downstairs to get the lashes that I want. I am weak. Okay, I'm back, but I will say there was a pit stop. I had some Special K, but I did secure the lashes. Ooh, that's so spicy. Let me wipe this off. Make sure I don't have any glue. Wipe that on Sheila. And then these are the style. Oh, Lord, cat hair galore. Oh, Gene. He's gonna get it. And by get it, he's gonna get some smooches. There we go. Let's place it. Let it get acquainted. We're gonna mess with the end here first. Give this another couple seconds. So we're doing Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I'm giving this a shake. I've already been shaking it even before I started this. Outdoor Beige is gonna match me now. I'm so excited. It's a really good shade you're about to see. But this one's gonna need a little bit more skin prep. I'm actually gonna grab my Elemis oil for this one. This is kind of an old, man, saying old makes things sound bad, but it's not. It's a very tried and true formula. Still one of my favorite foundation formulas on the market, but this one does take a little bit more skin prep than, say, the Laura Mercier one that went viral. I'm gonna do this as my primer. This one, like I said, it just needs a little bit more skincare. I can probably start using this skincare brush out in the open. I've had it forever. The new Anissa Beauty one. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Crisis averted. I'll just put it down here. So I'm gonna do 2 pumps of that, and I'm just gonna dot, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put on this. And this is, think of this the same way that you would primer. This one pairs nicely with this foundation. If you have a very matte foundation, this is a really good primer for that. And it's a serum and it's not heavy, so it's not like adding an oil on your face. So if you're oily, you're even gonna like this because of how lightweight it is. And that was 2 pumps for my entire face, and then I kind of did put some excess down here on my chest. I'm gonna give it, I know this is excessive, but if skincare does not dry down, it's going to do the opposite of what you're wanting it to do. So give it 5 minutes to dry down. Ooh, I can just tell that this skin is ready. It's not ready yet, but it's going to be ready. I can tell that it feels so good, and it's on its way to being perfectly primed for this particular foundation. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I know that you can get a pump for it. I don't mind not having a pump. And if you don't like touching your face, and I know some of us don't, you could always get a makeup spatula, but I like to really smooth that foundation out first. And I'll just use my finger because then I'll just wipe it right off on Sheila. I'm gonna grab that C42. Ooh, the match is matching. And I'm gonna start to work this upwards. Now, there's some double wear tips you gotta know about. Do not try to work over here now. Stay where we started. Work there. Notice I'm not even gonna go to my forehead. And if I want to build it up, I need to build it up right now. It's not a chaotic chaos hurry fest, but it is a mindful fest. We have to think about where we are in dry time, because this is one that dries down. That's a good thing. Now, a foundation that dries down like this one, that means longer wear time, but it also means that we just have to be a little bit more mindful on how we are applying it. If I was to start going back over this with the foundation brush, once it dries down, and it might even appear wet. Listen, it might appear wet to you, but right about now, this is setting. And if I go back over it, it's going to become patchy, and it might not even, listen, it might not even become patchy, but also what can happen, it can mess with that perfect wear time because it had already set. It was already dry. It was so nice. And then we went and disturbed it. So if you've ever tried this foundation and you didn't have a really nice experience with it, maybe some of these tips are going to help you. That's so important. Get it on there, the primer underneath it, and that primer also helps slow down the dry time. Now, let's try out this new blush. This is new Myra Cosmetics blushes. I'm trying to see which one I want to try. I think we'll try this color. I think these are new. The shade is Because of You, and this is their liquid blush. Oh my gosh, it's really pretty. Okay, I don't know how pigmented we're working with here. And also I don't want to disturb that foundation too much, but I think we're gonna be okay. What are we gonna do? Let's do our C43. And don't forget, the C43, yes, it did sell out, but there's a very similar brush. Oh, that's pretty. In the Essential Travel Set, and we have that on sale right now for only $100 because we love y'all so much, and I know that so many of you weren't able to get the C43. Ooh, that's pretty. Now, I don't have concealer on, and I did that for a reason, but we'll get to that in a second. That is really pretty. By the way, this is the link to the Essential Travel Set, in case you were wondering. But there's a brush in here, very, 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 very similar to this one. Honestly, I want to keep apologizing, but I can only apologize so much. But I do want to keep thanking all of you and just tell y'all how grateful I am that y'all did sell this out. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, if you're interested, the whole set is there. Now let's go ahead and bronze. I don't have concealer on for a reason. I wanted to kind of reshape with it in a second. But let's do the cream bronzer. This is the one that we put on our eye. Apparently I can't open things. This is the one that was on our eyes. We'll go ahead and place this. Ooh, that's nice. I didn't want to get too bronzy either, and I feel like this is going to be perfect. Just a little bit of shape. Perfect. Still warm, not cool. So it's still a bronzer, it's just one that's not gonna get away from me too fast. Bronze up my nose a little bit, connect it there. I forget, I really do like these Patrick Ta bronzer duos. They're really nice. Ooh, that's so pretty. And let me do a little bit down here. I'm actually tan enough now for my Natasha Denona R5. Yay! I'm so excited. I got too fair for this particular shade. And this is a concealer I would consider a little bit more full coverage. So this would be my Glam concealer. Very small amounts. I get heavy-handed with it really quickly. But if you can do a light enough hand, you can buff this on and just wear it alone. I'll talk about it, but even where I'm at in my makeup journey, I get wild. Okay, I just start full coverage, but it's still one of my top 3 favorite concealers of all time. This concealer brush here is actually in the Essential Travel Set, and it's a 10 out of a 10, y'all. And then I'm just kind of melting that into the blush, melting this around here. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and rounded. Nice. Now I'm going to brighten just a little bit more. I cannot stress enough how much I love this. It is so easy, and it's a pink corrector. Okay, so it's going to brighten, and it's going to go on top. If we put it underneath, it could just be muddied, but I like to use it just to really brighten up the center. And it's from Live Tinted, and if you're after something so easy to use but so good, I cannot sing this enough praises. I really and truly can. I'm gonna get you a link. If you're wanting a pink corrector, try this. Just try it. And I don't think I've linked the puff in a long time. I'm gonna go ahead and link it. I just want to let you know that these are obviously the shape, material, everything's a 10 out of a 10 on them, but they are so durable. I don't even know how long I've had this particular one, and I cannot tear this thing up. I'm gonna link it for y'all. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and set everywhere else on my face. But I will say, you don't wanna take too much of the powder on top of the color that we have on our face, and the color being the blush and the bronzer. But what we will do is we'll go over that right now with a powder. So I'm going to set that with a powder that's obviously matching it. Now, it doesn't have to match perfectly. If you don't have the duo, that's okay. I would just set your cream bronzer, set it with a little bit of a powder bronzer instead of setting with a loose powder. It's just going to intensify it a little bit more, but you're still going to get that setting effect. He's touching base in there. He's touching base. He cracks me up. And then I'm going to layer just a little bit of this powder on top of that blush. My C41, just a little bit. I didn't want to get too blushy, and I will. You know how I get, just absolutely out of control. By the way, this is one of my new favorite blush shades, and it's also from Patrick Ta. I didn't use this cream today because I wanted to test the Myra one, but this right here, love it. So this has been one of my favorite eyeliners for 1,000 years. Not that long, I know. I'm exaggerating. But for a very long time, and it's usually not in stock, and I believe I saw it on sale for $5.60. It's around $5. Even if you don't want to do an intense eye look like I just did, do your favorite classic glam and then just pop this on your waterline. There's a reason this has been one of my favorites for a very long time. Now I'm going to film a little video on this one, so if you see that one bare, that's why. I'm going to set this down for a second. I'm trying to decide what I want to do on my bottom lash line. Okay, I got a little wild. And all I did was fix that lighting. There you go. All I did was connect through here. I can't be left alone with eyeliner. It's time for our headband. I just got these on Amazon. I just searched large headbands. Try not to get any makeup on it. I'm sweating. There we go. And then I'm going to adjust my hair. Fun! Oh my gosh, the eyeshadow matches perfectly. Okay, let me get this smoothed out. I'm gonna mix these two lipsticks. These are from Kiko Milano. So these are just their liquid lipsticks. These don't need any kind of topper. Look at how cool the wand is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw this on. Oh, I love this color. The only reason I'm gonna use this one is to lighten up the center a little bit. Dang, that applicator is nice. I turned it around to the pointier side for a little bit more precision. Okay, and before that dries, I'm gonna grab the lighter shade and just tap a little bit there. Just a little bit. Lighten up the center. And then I'm gonna top it with this gloss. This one's limited edition, but I was able to find a link for it. I love their glosses. Whenever you try one, you will be like, oh, I get it. I understand. I get the hype because they are so shiny, but they're the most comfortable gloss that I've ever put on. And they're very lightly scented. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm ready for spring. Tomorrow is the first day of spring. I'm excited. I mean, it's been 80 here since late February, but still. I love y'all so much. I don't know what I'm gonna post tonight. Probably something helpful. Make sure you watch my last reel because it's something I didn't think I was going to like as much as I do. In fact, tomorrow we're gonna talk about it more and we're gonna find some more ways to use it. That's what we'll do tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's Feral Monday. I sure did. This color makes me so happy. And in case nobody has told you today, I love you so much.